you are curious, it is a best of 3 in the top cut. And wow, immediately we're getting into it. The Vola is banned instantly. The Nature Koish is banned instantly.
Yeah, Vola is a big threat for snrplat for his whole team except
very true.
Tuvain.
I feel like he honestly isn't too threatened by much else here. Like, the Skunch is kind of a problem, but Mashuk is a very strong tool into that. So is Calibus.
Higher seed and Vite, yeah, sorry.
And then, so looking at this, we get the Gulder first. So he may very well just be going for the Nagulder combo here. It's going to be challenge. Like, what does Golld do into that? He's just going straight for Valish Cernif. Now, since he doesn't run Frondo on his Cernif, this is going to be a bit more challenging for him, right?
Sure, but at the same time, it's not really good for Nagai's as well, because just double threat. Even if he bamboozles one, the other one still hurts a lot.
Certainly, certainly.
Machuk. Machuk is really good against bows. You can have Intendedness Cernif if needed later.
As I was just saying, yeah, Mashuk is actually very frightening into Golld's team. The only thing he really has to deal with that is Kinu, which could very well just be the ban here.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose... No, Valish doesn't trade well into Mashuk is the problem.
No, not at all. I'm... Seismensch ban... I still wonder actually was the Seismensch ban, because he still had like Kinu, Cernif.
Yeah, there's a lot that you could ban on Plat's side. I don't feel like the Seismensch was the biggest concern.
I'm more wondering about the Vola as well. Why? I mean, we'll see.
Okay, do we know whether he's running an... Oh, we won't be able to tell from this particular match. If I recall correctly, Plat runs an arrow, right?
Yeah, normally he always runs on arrow.
That would be incredibly frustrating into most of Golld's lineup, for sure.
So, good luck, and hope all of you will like that show-off.
Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing how this is going to wind up being. We finally get to feast our eyes on whatever Golld is doing with this Schween. I know some people have seen this in Plus. I still haven't been able to, so I'm going to be super excited by whatever he's going for with this. He doesn't get... If it's for the Valorant, then it doesn't quite work here, but it can't just be for that. He must be... Is he using it for the Grumper?
I have actually no idea why he uses it. Is it even an immunity one, just to like avoid?
No, I'm pretty sure this is Guardian.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is Guardian. I don't know for sure. Like, it could be immunity. If it's immunity, that also makes sense here, because then that's incredibly strong into a lot of Plat's lineup, but a lot of people have been talking about Guardian. Not as many people have been talking about immunity.
I mean, Guardian against a Toxic Stall is, of course, just so good, but... Oh, he's still Madness buff there, so okay. Uppercut Toxic Ink?
It's risky.
Oh, he didn't double. Okay. So instantly, like, Golld is in a better position there. Especially if his like Kinu is a bit quicker than a Machuk. Let's say a bit quicker than 118 speed, just beta Crystal Spike, it's dead. And whatever comes there...
What's stopping him from just taking his Valish out and letting it come back later when it can net a kill?
Or even sacrifice, if he's not quick enough.
Actually, he could just sack here. There's nothing stopping him.
So he supposes it's quicker than Machuk? Oh, that's actually... double
Okay, so he goes for Hypno. Onto Mashuk. That's a good call.
Yeah, that did a little bit lesser than I thought as well with Madness buff.
This means that he can actually sack this turn, and it's even better.
Yeah, no poison, take the heal.
I just realized another thing he could be doing with the Schween is having another Sacrificer.
True.
If this is a really greedy Valish comp. I don't know. It just seems like I'm trying to find other reasons why this Schween is here.
I suppose we will see it.
For those not in the know, Schween is a very challenging Tem to use competitively. While it has serviceable stats and an amazing typing and good traits, its move pool leaves much to be desired, with very few zero hold options, and very few attacks of note.
Yeah, I really hope we get something good with Sipanku.
Oh, likewise.
A signature move?
All it needs is like one or two things. If it gets the equivalent of a Quetzaleno in terms of a move, then it's going to be such a boon for it. Because it's got the stamina to abuse things with it too. Stamina is one of its highest bases.
Mineral Hail.
Oh man, yeah, give it another 3-hold move, Crema. That's what Schween needs.
Sure.
Yeah, no, the Hypno was really nice, though. And yes, Monsieur Bear, Schween does get Crystal Bite and Iced Stalactite. The problem is, both of those still don't help you turn 1. So we see the Naga swap, and we do just see a Revitalize come out from the Kinu right here. No sack today.
I mean, that's actually really good as well. Double heal.
Rest off.
Wait.
Unless this is a drill Valesh, though, this is still... Actually, no. Valesh is going last here anyways. This is fine. What am I talking about?
I mean, if he rested, I suppose that he doesn't have the stamina to double Crystal Spike after Madness buff.
Yeah. So, I guess this is the moment we've been waiting for. We get to find out what this Schween is even doing.
Water Bullet.
Well, yeah, it's gonna probably ABH this first turn because I don't. It's got Glass Blade. That is its other 0-hold move, and people who have debated Gallus with me and a couple others can tell you how useful Glass Blade is. That extra 30% when they weren't expecting you to hit them first turn really helps Gallus users.
Yeah, like Little is saying, at least it looks cool.
Yeah, it does look amazing. The Luma Schween as well is one of the coolest in the game. Black and yellow, and that little sort of indigo and purple. It's a good color scheme. It stands right here, though. After it gets hold up, it's going to be intimidating into this lineup.
No, so it's immunity, yeah.
Not immunity. And it's got snares. That's quite nice.
And often I saw that.
If only.
Boom.
Crystal Spikes just annihilates Nagais. I'm surprised that
he stayed there.
Yeah, honestly, that felt like he could have swapped into Calibus or something there instead.
Maybe Plat read it to swap, I don't know.
Possible that he read a swap.
It's the only thing I can see.
That makes sense if he was like reading a swap into that, but I don't know. The Psysurge felt like a strange option to see off of him because I know he usually, in the face of things like that, just madness buffs anyways, especially when he has Nagulder, right?
Yeah.
So that felt like a confusing play.
That's why he doubled into there, just to get rid of the bamboozle in case, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he would have doubled into there, certainly. And there's no way to stop Valish from going last in an environment like this, which leaves the question, why leave the Naga in? But we're past that turn now. We've got a Chamomile 2-Vine on the board. It's a good Chamomile user. It's not often the one that you see, but partially just because Camo Grump is so strong. But it does mean that you can't do a dang thing to this bird.
At least against Toxics, it's just so amazing.
It's also, once again, it's an energy drink while being other things.
True.
Like, sleeping 2-Vine is still a serious problem if you run it.
I don't have the habit now seeing Callosity procs, but...
Yeah, I know, right? Everyone swapped to Callosity except for Golld. Gold's still flying the banner.
He's still in a rough spot there at the moment.
Also, Teguisa throwing out some cold hard jank in chat. Sensei Asukai. Man, eventually, my dude.
One day, maybe.
I too want Sensei Asukai to be a thing, partially because then I'll be able to run Strange Vest Sensei Asukai and confuse everybody. But in the meantime, we do see the Valish re-enter the field because, I mean, it's definitely hungry for some two-vine flesh.
Thank you for the
And
follow.
this Cernif's still feeling pretty comfortable this turn. Like, I don't see what Mashuk is immediately doing to this field when it's at half health and can just be threatened by Valish, right?
Yeah, I still think it's a bit dangerous what he did there, switching into the Valish. I think you want more getting him, like, on a free entry. Because now he needs to one-shot something to stay.
And, like, it dies to an uppercut now if this Mashuk lives. So, if he's committing to that kill, he needs to commit to that kill with all caps.
Yeah, Water Cutting Lily and Crystal Spike into 2-Vine, I suppose, but...
Yeah, it's just very risky. He goes for Turbo instead.
To get the uppercut quicker than Valish. So he kills Mashuk.
Or it's just to get buffs onto the 2-Vine.
That should be enough.
I believe that's enough. Yeah, from 7.5%, even if you've got parrier and good
resistance.
Like, it's very easy to do under 10% to a Tem. Oh my god, Tech Wizza has defined a term for Sensei Strange Vest Asukai.
Perfect.
I'm putting that in my brain pocket, Tech Wizza. Thank you for that. Full reversal Asukai. That's stored away. Right. Valish is still in a tough spot here. It needs to keep killing or get off the floor.
I think it needs to get off there and get stamina back for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the best. Right. If I recall, okay, we haven't seen the camo user, so Shikari could swap in pretty free here if it is in fact the camo Grumper.
Either that, either you sacrifice Shween on that spot, I think, and heal yourself with Cernif.
That's also very possible. Since Cernif is... I don't know if you really put all your stocks into settling Cernif this match, though. You're fighting a Calibus and a Goulder along with this 2-Vine.
Yeah, but 2-Vine has no more stamina. Oh, that's a big overexertion.
Ooh, yeah, down to under 50%.
Oh, Shy Shield.
Toxic Ink's gonna be going down on the Cernif. Like, yeah, at this point, I feel like Cernif's more of a sacrificial lamb. It's not the win condition Golld needs here, because with 2 Toxics in the back, it's gonna be super rough trying to make Cernif work.
Agreed. But it's like, it's more something that wins tempo, that holds, I mean, takes a lot of damages and make him lose time.
Oh yeah, as a distraction, it's great. It's certainly putting its efforts in there. Like, Plat still has to respond to that or it's gonna be incredibly annoying.
So I don't know about, like, really Shy Shield instead of Revitalize, but I suppose he readed him attacking the Valash bot.
Presumably, yes. Like, that seemed like that was searching for where the Toxic Ink was gonna land. Plus, this means he can stonewall something with Shikari. Oh no, the bush.
He can bush, yeah.
Bush synergy. I still have this problem where I don't see the synergies immediately with some things. Like, it's so hard to remember all of it. I kick myself every time I see an Earth next to a nature and don't go, ah, bush!
Wow. Yeah, that's why I mean, like, if he revitalized, he would be in a good spot there with Cernif the turn before.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Although he still gained a lot of ground with this, putting the 2-Vine in such a desperate position. Once again, just means that Plat has that fewer things to respond with, right?
Sure.
I don't doubt that he'll be able to stretch this out for a while with a Goulder and a Calibus, but I don't see him taking down the Valish.
No.
Provided
I don't think so
Golld
either.
gets the appropriate setup for it. Like a double in, if he just hard swaps it again, yeah, that's going to suck, and it's going to lose him a Valish.
Honestly, at this point, I think you switch to Cernif into Shween, finish the 2-Vine with Grumper, and so you have one more Revitalize into Valash because it's quicker than Calibus and Goulder.
Mm-hmm.
But seems not.
No, he just hard swaps the Valish again. Golld is a settling man, and he's not going to break the chain. Which is a shame, because this is going to really Oh,
This is so risky what he just did there. If Toxic Kings comes in there as well, it's
very dangerous, but I mean, Golld's managing it by the skin of his teeth.
wow.
Oh, and he's gonna get another scavenger buff off. It's paid off.
It paid off, but so risky.
Yeah, no, that was very risky. Now he can put the Schween in, sacrifice the Schween, and he has the setup that he wanted. But he needed to like finesse that in, and that was difficult.
The thing is, if that was so close to kill, if that killed Valash, Golld lose, just on a greedy play.
No, definitely. There's no way he comes back from that. Spicy jutsu plays, excuse me. Like a little flex attack right there. That's nice. I suppose that does more damage than the iced stalactite. That's probably the other option that he has.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like if you're running Schween, you want more than one support option. Pat Farm in chat. Golld's balls are weighing him down so hard.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Big balls.
Yeah, you gotta lay that sack down.
Sacrificing something.
Oh boy. Right. So, yeah, no, the sacrifice is just amazing here, and there's nothing Plat can do to stop it. Unless
Maybe not.
Unless something else happens here and we see a Grumper instead.
And remove Chamomile.
He removes the immunity and sacrifices onto the Grumper. I have no idea why he made this decision.
I don't know.
Like, Valish would have just won him this. But...
Is that BM?
I know a lot of people don't know how the interactions with immunity works, but I want to give Golld the benefit of doubt here. Because, yeah, no, immunity is a status, so it is also removed by sacrifice. But yes, no, this is some, like...
I know it's no BM ticket, it's just... Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
I guess this does indeed ensure that he has 2 win conditions here, and that he's not just riding the Valish train as hard as possible. But wow. That was something else right there. That's not how I expected the last bit of that to go, but well played to Golld, taking this first game out of 3. Let's quickly hop into our second match and see what they're going to do differently. I'm assuming that Plat's probably, like, Plat has to first ban the Volarin still. It's very important for him to do so.
Yeah, he can't deal with it otherwise. I mean, Size Punches like and Tuvine are his only options, but yeah, it feels a bit hard.
It still leaves a lot of other things on Golld's side to potentially take out instead.
So, there we go, into round number 2.
Yeah, no, it's getting pretty exciting here. Yeah, no, the Size Munch ban, that was the curious one.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, I feel like Plat isn't really too concerned with his team about a Size Munch, but
No, it was Golld that banned Size Munch.
I thought Plat banned it as well.
No, he banned Scunch.
Oh, did he? Never mind. My mistake. Scunch makes more sense for a ban, but it's still the sort of thing that he has an answer for with that, you know, big tentacle boy in the back there.
Yeah.
And the other ones, like, even Mashuk really takes a lot of the wind out of Scunch's sails.
The thing is, when he did that, he was the first to ban, so he had no option, because if then he bans Naga and Scunch is free. So, Machuk Size Munch.
Yep, so we got the Mashuk Size Munch again.
See a Golder ban, so I don't think this will be a Scunch ban. Maybe a Grumper, but it's 2 melees already. Still
No,
Scunch,
ban
even
again.
with Naga, okay.
It could be because the Calibus, the Gulder was banned. he doesn't want to rely on Naga in the same way.
I mean, against the tree, not first
Bringing 2 birds, but
once, and Grumper probably. I can understand that.
yeah, I was gonna say there's a nature, 2 crystals, and a grumper. That's not the best Nagai's lineup.
At the same time, Grumper doesn't feel great against Ice Munch, Machook, and 2 Vine if he picks it, but
Yeah, it's something, I suppose is the best way to say this. Also, it's one of the best switch-ins that Golld has on Toxic Inks. If he can read those correctly, he does gain a lot of momentum from that.
I think Plat has a really hard matchup there.
Yeah, no, this is a bit grim for him. Man, we got a lot of people gambling all in chat.
So, there's always like that on my stream.
So I see. In the meantime, though, looking at this, okay, so Plat does have the Rex synergy immediately available, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but Water Cutting Lily, yes.
I don't think he like doubles down on that in turn 1 here. Like he needs to deal with Gold Cerny first.
Oh, yeah,
It's man, this brings me back. Nobody's played Cerny with settling for a dog's age. It's nice to see, you know.
Especially when you can buff it with a Kino for pretty much free. Like Urshal. Oh, good Urshal.
Okay. Yeah, the Urushiol does something here, but once again, this isn't immobilizing this Kinu, right? It's putting a timer on it, sure, but like, it's still more than capable of taking advantage of the fact that it's not dead yet, right? It could get a Revitalize or a Stonewall off. It can exist.
I wonder if Plat runs Tenderness, because
yeah,
that would
Tender
be
Shook
really good.
would be absurd into this. If Tenderness is something that he has, then we should find that out this turn.
Sure. I could still want to Urshal the other spot as well, but...
I mean, it's possible. No, he just swaps the Cernif out early. And yeah, this means that he's just going to go straight onto the Valish. So we see a Turbo, just to immediately get the
Speed
up
advantage.
on his Valorant, since, of course, you know, an arrow much harder to get HKS to do anything. And that's one of the main ways that you do that.
And he only has one turn of
might
sleep.
actually just kill the Kinu here.
For
Yeah.
sure. Let's go. No heal for Valish as well, because...
Minimum value from that Kinu. So Plat just surgically excised it. Very important play. Because, I mean, the Kinu definitely put in a huge amount of work last match.
For sure. Only +1/+1.
Means that we get to see second Kinu, otherwise known as Schween, do its job, right?
The thing is really the turn 1 move that I think was a problem for Golld. Because he needs to be able to pressure, and leaving there with Valash feels harsh.
Yeah.
Because now
I feel
Plat
like he
is
was
set
going
up.
for the greedy Stonewall there, based on the fact that the Kinu didn't move and stayed in. But it's impossible for us to say.
Yep. So he has a free madness buff now, so he will be able to set up.
Yeah, no, he will be able to set up. The madness buff is pretty guaranteed here. There's no way for Plat to punish that. But he has no way to
Cernif?
further buff it.
Is that a read? That is a good read.
Right, yeah, no, we see the Cernif come right back out to chase that size bunch away again. It still means that Valish isn't quite free to flex his muscles, but it's going to be hard for Valish to flex his muscles when we've got 2 melees on the other side.
True, and it's hard for Plat to ignore it as well. Like, if he is switching and Golld reads that and just attack. Because even if Golld leaves there with Valash, he still has Cernif pressuring a lot, the monkey.
Okay, so we see the Schween
Yep.
pop out there. A little
is
risky,
hurting.
given it's still weak to a bunch of things here.
I think he doesn't really care to
Survive the crack.
sacrifice.
I don't think it survives this. Right, this is a much tankier Schween than I expected.
It is a no heat up size bunch as well.
Oh, that's why. Sorry, I'm working off of heat up calcs. That's right. It never did the fancy heat up move. This is very true. This does mean that it's not hitting nearly as hard, and at only neutral damage versus Schween, it's not likely to kill.
The thing is, uppercut kills there, Schween, was Machuk.
I'm assuming that it's just sacking onto Cernif to make it a terror. Because since there's no Golder here, Cernif is much stronger this game.
I don't think you can sack. I think Machuk is quicker than you, even with sack. Because of +2.
It does have the +2 speed, this is very true.
So, you can't do anything there with Schween. And he has no switch as well, like Evan Grumper doesn't really like at all being...
Yeah, everything in his back line is allergic to being punched in the face by Mashuk.
So yeah, I suppose he just lets him die there.
Jutsus, that's what he does.
But he snared the sweatband, this is actually...
Oh! That's very important. Yeah, no, Golld is playing from a massive back foot this game. Getting the Valish out there at least means he gets some value off of the Schween, but ouch. Losing the sweatband on Cernif is...
It's big, for
huge
sure.
blow, because that means that we don't get indefinite Cernif plays. You can't continuously get your move rotations off. Yeah, no, that's very crippling. That said, we do see Mashuk take a sizable chunk of damage from this. I don't know whether Gold's current setup is going to be able to keep him bolstered against Size Munch when it comes back.
Yeah, this is just GG, he can't do
Gold
anything.
just taps out. That's totally fair.
Because uppercut would kill anyway before he moved.
Yeah. No, that was a very tough spot for him that game. Well, we're going to go into our game 3 then, since that is 1 for both sides there. Will Golld take it back, or will snrplat continue with this momentum?
Yeah. I mean, it's always cool to have a 1-1 situation.
Oh, yeah. No, it's much more exciting that way.
Oh.
There we are. Well,
That the bastard win?
hopefully Golld will avoid being in a scenario where everything gets punched in the face again.
We see an insta-Koish Valorant ban again.
Yep, no, it seems like those are set in stone. We do see the Valish as the first pick here. It does seem like the getting counter pick on turn 1 has dictated a lot of the pace of both of these players.
I mean, blue is still amazing.
Blue is still very amazing. I do like the fact that there is a reason to pick orange now.
I mean, orange is better than the blue side was earlier. Let's say it like that. It's more fair, but it's still 60-40 for blue for sure.
No, I think that's a reasonable way of saying it. I know that people are much better disposed at making teams that can perform well when orange. That's not to say that it's easy to do that, or that means that you have a team that will always perform, but it's still something people can build towards, which is nice.
For sure. Having the counter ban and the counter last pick is actually not bad at all, for sure.
Yes. Last pick is, I think, really important. But either way, we see once again Size Mashuk in the front right there. Which, honestly, Golld has a hard time dealing with this, as we've seen.
The thing is, I know he really wants Cernif, but at the same time, bringing Kinu there is... Ooh.
Skunch! Boy,
Wow.
that's risky. What's Skunch doing here?
Getting a free move, but... I really would have go
Maybe-
Kinu or Cernif there.
That's one thing that it is.
I mean, Golld
Like,
plays really aggressively, so... Fits?
Looking at this, I mean, once again, it does eat the uppercuts, and it does suplex effectively into some of the targets that we're seeing here. It's better into the Valorant, which did give him a hard time alongside other threats.
Oh, he's thinking about just banning Valorant.
Yeah, no, he is looking at that, but that means he has to face that Golder again, which means that he definitely can't pick his natures. He bans the Nagais this time.
I suppose the last pick will be Kinu for sure, and Cernif, suppose.
that makes sense. The Schween didn't really work out for him last game.
Vola is like a half there, really. Hard for him.
Ooh, God of this pair suggests that he's going to quickly P-jab the size munch to get the snare off of it.
Oh, that could be, yeah, a good way.
That actually sounds reasonable as what that Scunch is doing there turn 1.
Because Cernif just one-shots it after that as well.
Yeah, exactly. One of the biggest problems with Plat's team right now for Golld is the fact that snare is really inhibiting his way to respond to it.
That's still why I think Kino was in a good spot, because you buff your Valash and can still beta burst whatever.
Mm-hmm. No, losing the Kino early last game intensely crippled Golld.
For sure, but there was no way he lose Kino this turn.
Yeah, no, he's definitely conserving it more. We'll see how this goes. So the Scunch stays in, Valash goes out, Cernif hops into the battlefield right now, ready to take advantage of things. Size Munch bounces accordingly, bringing in Calibus to take advantage of the telegraph attack into Size Munch.
And an Urshel. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's a Mucus.
It's Mucus Calibus. Very interesting to see. Obviously not a lot of people play Mucus, but it does mean that there's a couple things there. Like, it's not going to come up this match, but being immune to burn is actually a pretty cool thing for Calibus as well. And it does give Plat an option into freeze teams. If Shiznix had made it into top cut, that would be valuable, you know?
For sure. I mean, against Grumper, it's valuable as well, I suppose.
It's true. Against Grumper, it's actually very good. The 30% resist to electric is huge, especially on a Tem as tanky as Calibus. So we're right into our heal game as Scunch gets Revit off of that and is definitely scaring this Two-Vine a bit.
He does bring Two-Vine to get the turbo off, even if that wasn't a great spot for him. To have like Machuk as a tower control.
Definitely. Now that he's got the +2 on Mashuk, he's in a much stronger position. Like this one, I can definitely agree with you. Like this turbo was for the Mashuk, not the Two-Vine. It's nice, and CPG is gonna do some good stuff.
I was gonna say that perfect jab CPG into Scunch with the tick. It's at least for sure dead.
That's fair, actually. What does Golld have to counteract that? Now that I look at this,
nothing. He has no good switch in there. Oh.
So he goes for Tornado instead.
Well, I can understand it because if he, well, actually no. Why you're +2?
Expecting a swap. But even then, it sounds like Plat did not see the play that you saw there, which is unfortunate because that was a deadly play, and he loses a Two-Vine in the process of this.
Yo.
Unfortunato.
Whatever came in there, Crystal Plume perfect jab seemed really good. Yo.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate because that definitely would have grabbed Plat the rest of this game. Still though, we will see a lot more poison ticks with Guldur and Mashuk on the field. And looking at this, right, so the Calibus has minus defense now, which does genuinely suck. Cernif can still, like, actually in this, Cernif's very happy to attack Calibus because it's Mucus. It's not taking poison ticks every time it exists.
Yeah. And when it's the -1, like you say, it's harsh.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that's a toxic ink into Scunch to try to finish him with the tick.
Seems reasonable.
But Revitalize incoming.
Which is going to keep the Scunch alive for another turn.
Yep.
Actually, that means Scunch is kind of safe to just bounce here, right?
Yeah.
Because then you can bring it in on a death and get a Jutsu off for free, basically.
What can he switch into there? Shikari?
Yeah, Shikari seems fine because it's
Bush synergy as
Chamomile
well.
Golder. Sorry, Chamomile Grumper.
I mean, I
And
really think,
Source
yeah,
P and an R, I tell you, man, that you mix them up.
I think it's just Grumper and Bush there.
Yeah, no, Grumper Bush seems pretty reasonable because that also clears the ticks off of Cerneve. The question is, does Plat swap out of this lineup? Oh no, Plat cages.
Yeah, because that was like really an obvious play. Yeah, and Bush. That's
Bush, which at least means that the Cerneve can dip if he wants.
and Skunch
But
dies.
this Toxic Ink executes this Skunch handily.
That's why he doesn't run Tenderness, because he runs Cage.
That makes sense.
That's Uppercut, Cage, Turbo, Urshal.
That was a very valuable cage, even if this does trap the Mashuk and the Golder in. Honestly, I think this is still pretty good for Plat. The Valish can come in for free. That's one thing.
For free was a Metrook? I don't know.
It's at no stamina.
True, but he's quicker, and he needs like 2 Crystal Spikes to get rid of him, when 2 Uppercuts gets rid of Valish. Especially with the Toxic Ink incoming now.
The speed advantage does make it a lot more risky. I just think that he's definitely trying to get a Madness buff here.
Yeah. The problem is he has to, but... Harsh. So basically it's Madness buff Revitalize.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's something. We're still likely to see Valish at what, around 60% at the end of this turn? Because this uppercut's gonna slap.
If he does it. Maybe he just rests as well.
Could just rest. I mean, I don't think it's that hard an overexertion, though. Uppercut isn't the most expensive move in the game.
It's not because of that, it's if you rest, you get a double uppercut then, and then you're good to go.
Oh, that's true.
Oof.
So we do see the Kinu jump in as well, which, you know, it helps. The Toxic Ink is kind of a problem in terms of the sort of long-term survival of Valish, but it's not an insurmountable thing at this point. I don't believe we've actually seen whether the Beta Burst and the Crystal Spikes together takes out the Mashuk from here.
The problem is Metrook is quicker. So if Uppercuts hits Valish there, and he doesn't kill, it's game over.
This is very true. The +2 speed is really causing Plat to dictate things here.
Because of the +1 defense, he will survive Uppercut, but yeah, again, no kill, just Valish dead.
Yep, and at this point, Golld has thrown a lot of his chips into Valish as well. And now that the cage isn't there, what's stopping him swapping the Size Bunch out as well? We see the Calibus come back in.
Expect the Crystal Spike into...
Okay, so is he just planning on double... Okay, so he winds up just hypnosising that spot. And we get a energy drink Calibus revealed. A very good item on Calibus for sure. It's definitely another of the so slow you need to make sure it's sleep immune unless you're running drill tier.
I mean, that was a good damage into into Kino for sure.
Oh, definitely.
And no Baton Pass, so he can't like switch like he wish neither anymore.
This feels like a sack turn. If he's
Yeah.
running sack, he uses it this turn.
Sack and Crystal Dust.
Yep.
But Golder is really Golder staying there? I don't think so.
No, Golder isn't staying there, but like, I don't know, you could...
Size Munch.
Yeah.
It's not a sack.
Not sack. Okay, it's a Cerneve instead. Looks like he's expecting the Size Munch that you've seen. Although instead
Or
we get him a
not.
Shook. So we hit the Kala this time, and it goes down to 42%. Still not enough. The Strangle comes down. Valish is actually happy about that, I think.
Yeah. He can go away now, it takes stamina back.
And best of all, Cerneve isn't immediately threatened by that. Like, you get an Urushiol from the Mashuk, maybe, but that's not, like, the end of the world.
Nope, but I still wonder how he's gonna deal with Machoke.
I needs the Kinu in to deal with Mashuk, but the Kinu is so low, it's probably going to die to an Urushiol if it gets hit. With that, we see the Size Munch enter the field. It never got snared as well. So, well, it never got snared to trigger. And yes, the Kinu does die to the love tap of the uppercut. Very unfortunate to see, but at least it got one last buff off before it went. And the Water Cutting Lily is going to hit the Size Munch, but the snare goes off again, and he can't keep the sweat band on this Cernif.
But still, the damage dealt for it was pretty good.
Damage is great, and it's where it needed to land, too. Like, at this point, he's kind of just been saving that for that.
Because now, whatever comes into Size Munch spot just dies, so he gets to heal for sure.
He's being really careful with his Valish, though.
Yep.
Which, you know, fair. Once again, that +2 Mashuk means that he really has to watch out.
Ooh.
And Shikari lives the wreck. Very good to see. And I guess, you know, the settling procs will help Cernif continue to draw value outside of healing its teammates into the late game. I don't really know how much settling did this game, though.
So, if I was a snrplat, you just ignore Shikari? And Cernif has no stamina anymore, no sweat bands. He can't
Even
switch
at
into a Valish.
30%, the Thunderstrike is gonna do more than tickle Calibus.
Oh, it's gonna kill. Oh, actually no, because Mucus. I forgot about it.
Oh,
But
no, Mucus, I'm saying, even with Mucus, like, it's not gonna two-shot. Well, sorry, it's not gonna one-shot, it's likely to two-shot.
yeah, two-shot for sure. But still,
And that means that you're basically just letting an Inductor Grumper get its HP back. Yes, the uppercut can kill it anyways, but do you really want to deal with that?
At this point, I'm really wondering in a snrplat if I just rest on Metric to get my stamina back.
Okay, he swaps the Valish in, attempting to predict the kill on the Grumper. If this is red, that's basically just him dead. But no, it goes down onto the Grumper, giving the Valish his health back. The humiliating slap has gone down, though, which is actually terrifying. I believe that still leaves the Valish at +2, though. But, sorry, at +1, though. No,
it's neutral
down
now.
to neutral defenses. That's risky.
Only had a +1. How are you killing?
No, so the question of the day is, how does Golld kill this Mashuk? I think this Mashuk just wins Plat the game now.
Yeah, the thing is, like, now he needs to kill everything that comes on Calibus spot and then try to 1v1. But yeah, harsh.
The problem is he needs to kill the Mashuk now, because the Mashuk's the threat now.
I don't think it one-shots there. It's close, but...
You do see the uppercut go down. As you say, it does not one-shot.
So I killed Kala, gets the heal, and then Golder comes, gets another heal, Revitalize. No.
Golld instead goes immediately in and does
An overexerted
11-ish, well, 12-ish% to the Mashuk, rather than going for the Revitalize.
So he's just dusting Golder there, yeah, kill Golder, and then having a last Crystal Spike into Machuk, and Cernif will be able to 1v1?
I think Cernif can 1v1.
Well, the Crystal Spike is gonna do a huge damage there.
Yeah, Crystal Spikes will do a lot. And this is settling Cernif, so it's better into this.
Wait, actually he doesn't even need to. Wait, how much was it? Wasn't it like 43% the uppercut?
Yeah.
But he overexerts even with the dust there.
Well, Valish needs to get damage off this turn.
Yeah, I think you'd rather go all in there, just Crystal Spike Machoke and revitalize
So,
your Cerneef, but
hope that the HP differential is enough to ensure that you get the upper hand with Cerneef.
Rivet is useless there, yeah.
Since this is Golld, my suspicion is that he is going to go all in on this, and that Cerneef is going to be his ace in the hole here because of his comfort with that Tem.
Yeah, we saw 12% done damage with Water Cutting Lily. With Settling, of course, it's gonna be a bit higher after some time. Yeah, Solely Q, I didn't grab the perfect number of it. He had 57% of the first uppercut. How much was it left there? He took two heals, so 40%.
Yeah, sadly, I didn't catch that exact number either.
Yeah, Ali, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, no, I'm of the similar perception. I think that Cerneef can stall it out and out-damage Machoke into that. Now, the challenge with that is, once again, this is settling Cerneef, so it has to stay up. Like, Golld needs to keep his rotation perfect, but if there's a person I trust for that, it's Golld. The downside is he lost his sweatband again, so that's really dangerous into this.
Doing some calcs there, I think.
Yeah, it seems like a pause that involves somebody quickly going into Temtem and checking things on a damage calc.
And yeah, Ali, because we have some time, I started with 1k6. But because the period was so short, yeah, he survived there. Because the period was so short, I downed it to 1k5 just for this one. So that's a good chunk of damage into the Machoke.
Yeah, no, that helps. Is it enough? Because once again, this Cerneef doesn't have Sweatband.
But Machoke has no stamina neither.
Yeah, Machoke's likely doing more than 12% on hits.
Yeah, I know he's starting Shy Shield, Revitalize, and there we go.
Okay, so is it just going to be the full stall?
I would still have Revitalize there and then Shy Shield again to get the holds back, but...
Just for the Revitalize this turn, then he's going to go for Bush next turn, right? That's the rotation.
Bush is a lot of stamina when you don't have Sweatband, so
this is
not
also
sure.
True.
And you're not quicker than +2, so...
Revit that it used to, right?
Yeah, but it's only useful if you can stop the attack. But because Machoke is quicker than his Bush, it's, yeah, just not useful.
That's very true. The evade is useless. So this means he really is just rotating between Shy Shield and Revit.
Yeah. And play the late game. And then with Settling, he will deal a lot of damage still. And yes, Optimus. 1.5k peak TMR. Yeah, he's just building Settling and getting to live to there.
If there's anyone I believe understands how to make that work, it's Golld.
For sure, he played Cerneef a lot. I mean, way more than enough.
Oh yeah, no. As I said before, this is the man who made settling Cerneef work before Bush, before Kasiwa, back in the dark times of Tukma.
Yeah, I remember that really well.
He's kept the torch burning, and he's definitely showing it today. Cerneef's just not going down.
The thing is now, he can alternate. So healing, of course, taking one turn rest, doing an attack, heal, rest. It's like... He could even just heal rest, but yeah, that's...
The problem is Urushiel's just not going to do enough at this point.
Nope.
Defeating Plat, one of the only ways you can, by attrition.
Plat must be really crying there.
Oh man.
Against that.
So close. So close. He snared it and everything.
This is so frustrating when you play against that.
Yeah, no, Plat taps out. He's not gonna force us to sit through that. Congratulations to Golld for sticking to his guns, falling back on his OG Tem, and taking the second game, bringing him into our semifinals.